Hey, everybody, welcome back to Tank Tops and Sweaters. Yvette and I are here tonight, and we are going to talk about burnout and how everybody has kind of reached that point of burnout with everything that's going on after COVID and kids going back to school and just finding a new normal.
Definitely. And especially as moms and parents, or just women in general, we
General.
can all, yes, we can all feel the burnout at any moment and any time because the pressure is on definitely to get that school year started. The season is changing, everything is starting to spin. It's all there.
The kids are coming home with homework and
Yes.
sports and, you know,
Yeah, schedules are getting really full and packed, and it's juggling how you're going to get everybody to all the different practices and places that they need to be, and then get dinner on the table and other things that you may have, or even your schedule. Is your work schedule getting really full because now there's projects coming in and you have deadlines, and just things can pile up on you so fast that it can start to feel out of control. And I think that's a big sign of burnout for you.
absolutely. And I think it's one, recognizing the signs of burnout, like emotional exhaustion. We're not sleeping. We're kind of fed up. There's too much on the schedule. We feel like we can't handle it. Things like that. And then what do we do about it? How do we get ourselves out of that state of burnout and kind of in a regulated state? Does that make sense?
Definitely. And I think it's going back to, our mission, our statement, our heart is, we want to bridge that movement in mental health. And burnout is a big sign of your mental health. And the best way that you can deal with it is definitely by moving that body. I
It
think
really is.
I
It
think
really
it's
is.
gonna be a broken record here.
I know. I mean, there are other ways. I will say there are things. Moving the body does, because just like trauma gets stuck in your body, stress does too. And so when we have chronic stress, our bodies tend to hold on to it for multiple reasons. One, we don't have time to deal with it. Two, sometimes it's safer to just walk away. Like if something stresses you out and you know your safety is at risk, you're going to walk away from it and not deal with it. And then some of it's just like social appropriateness. Like it's not appropriate for me to get rid of that stress in front of everybody. So when it's, when it,
You mean you can't scream and yell to stop your
even yell at work or at a party, right? At a school function. But just holding on to that, your body holds it. So
Mhm.
you really have to work through the whole stress cycle. And in doing that, it's moving that stress through your body. And the best way to do that is movement.
Oh, completely, completely, completely. Moving that body. Again, going back to, tapping into the endorphins and the frontal lobe and getting everything to start working again instead of reverting to those stressors, to anxiety, to the burnout itself. And it's really, I feel like burnout, when you say it, I always imagine just me hitting the wall.
Yeah.
Like I have hit
I
the
get
wall
it.
and I can't do anything. Like your
Yeah.
brain sort of feels like mush. You just feel like
But
kind of
as a but as a mom, you don't really
defeated.
have that choice. Like you have
No,
to pick yourself up and keep going.
no, exactly. Like you're just pushing the wall at that point because you still have
Exactly.
to keep going. You still have to make sure everybody else is being taken care of,
Mhm.
which goes back to how are you taking care of yourself? Because we can't take care of anybody else unless we're taking care of ourselves. And when you hit burnout, then heck, what do you do?
Exactly. And I think that we tell ourselves, I'm okay. I'm okay. I just got to push through it. I'm okay. Just push through it. Because as women, that's what we are taught to do. That's what we do. We just keep going. Because if we don't keep
Yes,
going, who else is going to go for us? Right.
right. And I think that's a really good one because Kelly, you and I had talked about this a little bit earlier, but like the social constraints, the cultural constraints of what is expected of us as
Yeah.
women. And that's just not coming from the outside, but it also comes from ourselves.
The pressure we
That
put on ourselves.
yeah, we put those onto ourselves as well, of our own expectations of what we should be achieving.
Mhm.
But yet there's also those outside influences that come in as well. Like you should be, organized. You should be on top of things. You should be able to get the kids everywhere all at once at
I
the
think
same
it's the
time.
healthy dinners and the
Yes, healthy dinners and make sure everybody's taken care of. It's just,
everybody's happy. Yeah.
yeah, like super women, which we are. We really, really are. But
But we just keep adding to our plates by doing
mhm,
this. We're not really taking anything off or taking a break to say, I'm going to put this aside and take care of myself for a
right.
minute. We just keep adding and adding and adding and adding until we just you burn out. You can't take anymore. You hit that wall, like you said.
Yes, because we're human. We're
Mhm.
one person
There's
and we
only so much we can do.
yes, there is only so much we can do. And the emotional toll on yourself as
Mhm.
well. The emotional side of burnout, I feel like, is a really big one. Because I think that sometimes, like you said, you keep telling yourself, I'm fine, I'm
Right.
fine, I'm fine. Yet all these emotions are starting to build on top of one another to where you do or
Yeah.
can break down or just come, fall
Yes,
into a
and it's
ball of
really all that stress building up in your body that we haven't dealt
Mhm.
with. Like it does, it's not just a psychological thing, it
No.
is physiological. Like it does affect your body. It does build up in your body. And if we don't complete the stress cycle, we keep adding to it with those chronic stressors without dealing with it. That's when we get to a point where it affects your health. It affects so many things, besides just your frustration.
Yes. 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 So as moms, like I think we can both relate to and just even recently having so much going on our plates, dealing with so many emotions. Like my go-to for my breakdowns is in the shower of
Mhm.
just crying it out, doing, just
But,
letting it
that is
go.
a way that your body completes the stress cycle. A
Yes.
big old
Yes.
cry.
Yes, a big old cry. And I think even though you may not consider that a movement of, a physical movement of your body, it is, I feel like
Think
a
of it
big
like a cleansing of
yes,
your body. I that's
yes,
how I think of it, at least. It's like it's a cleansing
yes,
thing that we have to get it out, and that's how you're
yes.
cleansing yourself of all of that
Laughing
laughing.
is the opposite and the same
Yes,
thing.
and the same thing.
I feel like it was
Think
really
about those big belly laughs when you
yes,
can't control it.
when you are like laughing so hard that you're crying
Yes,
in your
exactly.
ears.
Exactly.
Yes, I love that.
Also, I think creative, like they say creative expression. So anything like I have one child that plays guitar when she gets stressed out. I have one that draws and paints when she gets stressed
Mhm.
out, one that builds when you get stressed out. It's just so I think there's different ways you can do it, but it's finding that thing that works for you to be able to complete that stress cycle so you're not just building on top of the stress constantly.
And I love that because we're talking about again relieving that stress, taking that
Mhm.
stress out of your body and not holding it in till the burnout
Right.
or feeling the
Or
burnout.
feeling the burnout. Yes, feeling
Yes.
it coming.
And I think that's another thing. It's like I think as people in general, we just need to be more kind to ourselves and allowing ourselves to process those feelings and emotions and you know, yes, you're going to have hard days and you're going to have really crappy days where you just feel like everything is coming at you all at once. And what do you do with that? But giving
Right.
yourself those moments to be able to process those emotions and just allow yourself to cry it out, laugh it out. Um,
Scream it out. Run
yes,
it
to
out.
scream it out, take a pillow, pound
Yeah,
the bed
pound
with
that
it.
pillow. But I think it's changing the narrative as especially as women that we have that it's not okay to not be okay. And it is
Right.
okay. Like it's normal. We're human. We are gonna have
Yes.
these things. And if it builds up in our body, that's even more not okay.
Right.
So to say it's okay to feel it and move through it, because that's the way we're going to survive it, instead
Right.
of I'm fine, it's all good, I'm fine.
Right, because when we just keep pushing it down, it's like you're just creating these layers of stress that are going to keep compounding your body and keep processing in your
Yeah,
body, but in a bad way.
right. So your body can't
Breaking,
do it anymore. So that's what
right,
happens.
breaking
You
it
get sick,
down.
or something. That's when your immune system goes out
Mhm,
of whack, or you notice that you're holding pains that you didn't have before.
mhm.
Back pain, shoulder pain. That's a lot of your body holding stress.
Yeah. Stomach issues,
Mhm.
um,
Digestive stuff. Yeah.
yeah, digestive stuff for sure. Headaches, feeling
Hmm. Oh
tired and
yeah.
fatigue,
All
all
of
big
that.
signs, all big
Yeah.
signs.
And I think that we think like completing a cycle of stress is an intellectual decision, like, okay, I'm over it, I'm done. But it's also like a physiological thing. Like your body has to move through that and complete that cycle for it to shift out of that stress. Otherwise, it's still there. You can say, oh, yeah, I'm fine, I'm good, I'm fine. And your brain's saying that, but your body's like, no, we're not. We're still holding on to it.
Right, right, exactly. Like, I love just, because you've said taking a big, a good run, just getting
Mhm.
outside and running. I love taking a walk, but I think more over really physically getting that heart pumping, moving that body,
Yeah.
pushing that stress out. But let's go to the opposite side. What about calming type movements
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
where
So
you can
breathing,
meditate or
meditate. Yes. Meditate, breathing. Um, so we've been experimenting with the 20-second hug around here.
oh,
It's fascinating. So you know how we normally just give a quick hug and you're on the go? A 20-second hug, your heartbeat actually starts to co-regulate with the other person's heartbeat. So if somebody is stressed out, if you have a stressed out child and you can keep yourself calm to hug them for more than 20 seconds, then it actually, their body starts to feel your calm and mimic it. So
okay. I am so trying this.
second hug makes a
Yes.
big difference. So instead of a quick
Yeah.
hug, it's no, you got to hold on. You got to let my heart talk to yours. We got to slow down a minute and breathe.
Oh, I
And
love
so,
that.
yeah, that 20-second hug is shown to make like a huge difference. And I see it working because we've been trying it. And it's
Oh,
definitely,
I love that so much.
yeah, it definitely helps. But like you said, meditation,
Mhm.
um, a positive social interaction, a girls' night, like can take away a lot of stress.
A girls' night is like the best night because you all can relate to each other if you have really good friends who are surrounding you. Um, it's awesome because you can vent to each other and
Right?
understand and completely understand.
Yeah.
And
And
that's all
not
you
judge.
need to do. You just need to
Yeah.
talk it out and just let it out. And it is the best.
Yes.
And you can
Absolutely.
laugh about it with each other
Yeah.
too.
And then you're going through it even, you're working it out even more.
Right. Yeah.
It makes a
Yeah.
huge difference.
Definitely. And having that support system, I think, is just so huge
Mhm.
because then you feel like you're not the only one.
Right?
You don't have to go through this alone. Like, you don't have to be that lone soldier, bucking up and moving on
Taking
and
it and going on. Yeah.
taking it in and I'm strong and I got this. And it's
I
like, it's
got this.
okay. You don't have to be that way.
Right.
And realizing like you have support and you have people who
Mm.
are around you who understand is makes a big difference.
Yeah. And like we said, I think changing the narrative of like, I have to do this by myself. I have to be able to have the job and take care of the kids and clean the
Yeah.
house and cook the dinners and do everything, keep everybody on a schedule. Like, let's change that.
Yes.
No, you don't have
Yes.
to do it all. And you can take
No.
a break. You can say, I need a break. And let's make that normal.
Yes. Amen.
Yeah. I think that
Yes.
that's like a huge thing. I think is we not only let society put pressure on us, but we put pressure on ourselves.
Mhm.
to be perfect, to do it all, to be that superwoman.
Yeah.
But we're human.
Yeah, we are. We are completely human. I also think it's super important to allow your children to see those sides of you,
I agree.
because I think sometimes, kids get a very jaded view of parents being like, they sort of think, oh, my parents are perfect and this is what my parents, and they would never do this. And it's like, no, no, no. We are all human. We all make mistakes.
Right. Because then they
Um,
take on, I'm not good enough because I'm not perfect.
right.
And we don't want that.
No,
Nobody's perfect. How
no.
boring would that be?
Exactly, exactly. But I also think it's good for them because they're going to run across these times of burnout. They're going to run across times of stress. And how are they going to process it? And so if you're
Absolutely.
setting that example of like, hey, look, I'm not perfect. I'm burned out, but here's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Here's how I'm going
Being that
to,
model for them.
yes, being that model of showing like a healthy way of
Mhm.
processing through that is such a big thing, because then
Yeah.
they can grow and they can learn how to process the stress, how to process burnout. When they hit that brick wall, oh, I remember mom and dad doing this.
It's
And
okay for me to say, no,
right,
I have to take a break. I have to stop.
right,
Yeah.
yes. Let's talk about that. Taking a break. Like,
And saying
uh,
no.
and saying no, setting boundaries, which is a whole nother story, but
I
a
know, but
whole
it's
nother
part
talk.
of it. I mean, it really is. It really is
Mhm.
part of it. That was one of the hardest
It
things
is.
for me to learn, was that it's okay to say no, because I am a people pleaser. I've always been a people pleaser. That's kind of where I
Yeah.
thought I got my worth from. And so struggled with that for a very long time. But being able to say, you know what? Thanks for asking, but I can't really do that today.
Mhm.
I'm going to be with my family. To be able to put myself and my family first and be able to say, it's okay to say no. And how many people go, I'm so impressed that you said that, or thank you for telling me the truth,
Yes.
or, and not just doing it because you feel like you have to do it. So there is
Yeah.
something to be said about learning to say no and putting that boundary in so you can put yourself first.
Right.
Okay to do that.
It is completely okay to do that. And, you may run across those times when you do say no and people are going to be upset, or they're going to, think that, well, that
Why?
person,
Yeah.
why can't you do that?
Right.
And you have to be okay with that. And you have
Mhm.
to be understanding of like, this is important for you, for your health.
Yeah.
And yes, you and your family do come first, and that's okay. And that's, if the other person has a problem, that's their problem,
That's their
not
problem, not
yours.
yours.
Not
Exactly.
yours.
Exactly.
But yeah,
Exactly.
it's hard. It's really, really hard to set that up, and especially when you want everyone to be happy and you want everyone to,
Yeah. I
be
like you.
like
Yeah.
you. Yes, it is. It is very hard, but I think it's super, super important to definitely set those boundaries for yourself, or burnout is going to come really, really fast and
Right.
hit you very hard. So preventing that
Mhm.
is an even better measure than, just allowing that to happen.
Right. Kind of doing the preventative things so that you don't
Hmm.
reach that burnout stage.
Hmm.
Like getting daily exercise and practicing your breathing, even if it's just sitting there and closing your eyes and just box
Yes.
breathing, super simple. You breathe in for 5, you hold it for 5, you breathe out for 5, you hold it for 5. You're just doing that little box. And something that you can do anywhere at any time. Nobody even has to know you're doing it, but
Yes.
just a simple breathing exercise to just get you through whatever it is that has you reaching that burnout.
Definitely. I also feel like it's super important to understand that, burnout can be really, really personal.
Mhm.
And so doing things that are personal to you is just as important, and finding those things that,
Yes.
help calm you, but also release your stress. So we can throw out so many different types of movements and
Right.
meditation and calming things, but it's really up to you to decide what you connect with, mind, body, soul, whatever.
What works for you.
What works for you personally is what you
Yeah.
have to find. And I think it's a journey that, everyone should take
And I
of
think we try
finding.
multiple things, and that's okay.
Yes,
There's nothing wrong with it. That you try something, it either works or it doesn't work. If it doesn't
yeah,
work, you move on to something else. I mean,
exactly.
you
Like I
know,
love that one of your kids plays guitar.
guitar. Yeah.
I love that. That is awesome.
Yeah.
That
It's
is
just
very
finding that release for them,
mhm.
whatever that may be. And it's almost like whatever their passion is usually where their release
Yes,
is
yes,
what I have found.
yes.
Yeah.
So what is your personal release, Kelly, for your
Wow.
burnout?
Mine's a couple of things. One is going for a run for sure,
Mhm.
because I think it definitely completes that stress cycle. And the other one is doing my breathing exercises. And a lot of
Nice.
times it's just that simple box breathing.
Uh-huh.
How about you?
I love going for a walk, just like getting outside. And
Mhm.
sometimes it's throwing a podcast on, sometimes it's just music. And it's just I'm walking to the beat.
I
Just
love
go,
that.
go, go.
Yeah.
But I love it because it's just you're breathing fresh air, you've got,
Mhm.
nature around you. It's a distraction, but it is. But to release my stress, truly, it is bar or dance.
Dance. Yeah.
I gotta be honest, like sometimes I'll just put music on and I'll be in the studio or I'll be in the bedroom with the doors closed
Yeah.
and I will just dance it out. Like just shake
Like
everything.
nobody's watching.
Nobody's watching and just dance my little heart out.
Mhm.
And it feels so much better afterwards because like you said, it's that physiological buildup
Yeah,
and
and you're
just
releasing it.
and I'm just releasing it.
Yeah. It's fascinating to me how much our bodies can hold it. And I think it's learning to listen to our bodies instead of ignore them. Like
Yeah.
what is my body telling me when I'm feeling that my shoulders are in my ears, or that I can't unclench my hands, or whatever it may be? What is your body's telling you something? It's learning
Hmm.
to be very intuitive and go
Yeah.
inside and say, okay, my body's telling me something. What is it telling me? And what do I need to do? Do I need
Yeah.
rest? Do I need release? Do I need, what is it?
And that's a hard one because I don't think we all listen to our bodies very well.
I
And
agree.
I think a lot of things sometimes we'll just brush off or we're saying that I'm fine,
Yeah,
fine.
exactly.
When really, like you said, your shoulders are all the way up here.
Yes.
Just like clenching
Yes.
everything. So yeah, your body has so many different signs of saying I'm not okay or something's wrong, but yet we tend to ignore so
Ignore it.
much of it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Or just say, I'll deal with it later.
Right,
I
right.
can't deal with it now. And at some point you have to deal with it. Like
Yes.
it's gonna come up in one way, in some way or another.
So
Um,
let's figure out a scenario. So you're at the grocery store shopping, getting stuff for dinner, you've got the kids. Just think of like the most stressful kid scenario.
Somebody's melting down, they don't have what you
Yes,
need.
yes. One's melting down, having a tantrum on the floor. The
One's
other one,
taking off and taking stuff off the shelf.
yes. One's opened up the cereal box and is
Yeah,
starting to eat it.
like just eating it.
Yes, the
What do you
diaper
do?
has exploded.
Yeah, exactly.
The worst case scenario. What would you do?
What would I do?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I think I have learned so much since those days that I would do something totally different than what I did do. Because I think I have had those times where I kind of gathered the kids up and I was like, I'm done. I'm out of here. Like left the grocery cart and just left. But I think now I would take a deep breath and realize that when my stress level goes up, so does theirs. So just like and I learned this, and I wish I had known this when my kids were little, but kids can humans can feel you can feel other people's energy and stress. So like when babies are upset and you're upset, it's harder for them to calm down because they're looking at you to regulate. So I wish that I would have known to keep myself calm to help regulate them. Does that make sense?
Oh, completely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
What would
I
you have done?
absolutely agree. Because you're right. Once you start stressing out, then it just escalates the situation because
Yeah.
everyone's feeding off of the stress
Mhm.
instead of like, okay, you need to find that calming point. And
Right.
I would just take like a big deep breath and I'd be like, Everybody stop,
Yeah.
take a deep breath,
We're gonna do one
blow
thing
it
at a
out.
time. Yeah.
All right. We're all going to the car right now.
Yeah.
Just
Exactly.
grab everybody and get to the car. Because yeah, I think at that point, like exit the situation, exit
Mhm.
the stress, but try and find that moment of calm and clarity,
Right. But
which
then I
is
think you also have to realize that when you get home, that stress is still in your body and you have to work through it somehow.
yeah. I
Whether
would
it's the
just go
shower
to
cry, the pillows.
yeah, I would just go to the park, to be honest, if I had
Yeah,
everybody bouncing off the walls and be like, all
let
right,
them
just
go.
go, just go,
Yeah,
just go
yeah,
play. And maybe like walk around the
yeah.
playground as they're
Exactly.
playing
Exactly. Or
if
even
you
just
can.
pushing them on the swing, that movement of
Yes.
you're moving, you're moving through their body, you're
Yes.
moving
And I feel
them.
like that rocking motion,
It makes a big difference.
yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It's really funny because I saw like a meme or something of, you know, a parent has been a parent just by
There's
the fact that
way.
they just start to sway, they just start to rock because you're so used to having your kid on your hip or right
Yeah. Have
here.
you ever gotten that look and you're like, oh, I'm not holding a baby?
I know. Yes, like, oh yeah, there's no kid.
Yeah.
That is so true. It is so
Yeah.
true. But I feel like, yeah, you're still moving your body, you're getting it out. And then I would go home, get everyone cleaned up, fed, to bed,
Right.
and then I would just, I don't know, cry in the shower or
Yeah.
or I would do a meditation or something, or just listen to some music, put a movie on,
Yeah.
whatever, get a
Yeah.
big old glass of wine and
Yeah, because you just have to work. I think we hold it all in because we put these expectations on ourselves to
Mhm.
be perfect and to keep it
Yeah.
together and to realize that it's not like a state, like being well or okay is not a state.
Mhm.
It's a constant action, right? It's a state of doing instead
Mhm.
of a thing that's done. And
Yeah.
so realizing that we are constantly in a state of taking care of ourselves instead of, oh, I did my thing today, I'm well, or I did my
Yeah.
it's a constant state of acting, of doing something to move all
Mhm.
that through your body.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think it makes a big difference. But I like the idea of like, let's work together, let's change this. Let's not put these expectations on ourselves. Let's make it
No,
okay to not be okay.
it is. It completely is. We're all going to get burnout. We're all going to not be perfect.
But
And
let's be here to help each other,
yes, it is
you
okay.
know?
Definitely, definitely. If you don't have that support group or the people around you, then, find that. Find, because honestly, there are going to be people out there who are going through the exact same thing
Definitely.
that you are.
100%.
Yes, and reach out to, friends, family, um, find friends, make new friends.
Yeah.
Mom groups, support groups are out there all the time.
Stick with
Community
us.
groups. Yes, stick with us. We're here. We'll support you.
We'll support you for sure. For sure.
Definitely.
Yes. I have one more thing that and I found it in a book, and I think it is,
Yes, yes,
anybody
yes.
wants to read this, I'm not through it all the way, but it is fantastic. It's The Secret to Unlocking the Stress Cycle. It's called Burnout. And it's by two sisters. Their last names are Nagoski. Fantastic. But one of the things they said in here was we don't have to wait for the world to change before we begin to heal ourselves and one another. So it's not like waiting for the world to get better. It's us. It starts here. It starts with us changing and healing ourselves to change the way the world works. So
Oh, could not be more true.
yeah,
That could not be more true. Wow. And how super, super important it is to connect with yourself. And this is a
absolutely.
really, really hard one. It's one we're talking about hugely in my family right now is connecting with yourself,
Mhm.
being kind to yourself.
To yourself.
And I think that's a really hard one because it's so much easier to be
Mm,
kind to yourself.
it really is. It
It
really
really is. And I
is.
think that's just our human nature is to criticize and to judge and to critique everything that we're doing within ourselves. Um, and instead of accepting us for who we are, we compare to others or our own misconceptions of what we think
Right.
we should be. So I think it's just super important to tune into yourself, to find yourself within, to be kind to that person, to love
Mhm.
that person, and to help yourself grow within that person because
Absolutely.
the example that you will set for your kids is
It's huge.
priceless.
Yes,
Priceless.
absolutely. And I think that not just an example for your kids, but for other women and other moms and like sisters, parents, but showing them that how awesome it is to do something kind for yourself, to take care of yourself, how much healthier you are, how much of a better mom, a better wife, a better friend, a better sister when you're kind to yourself too.
Definitely. Definitely. Our narratives are changing, and I could not be more excited
Right.
about
Me
that.
too. I love this.
Yes,
Absolutely love it.
yes, definitely. Well, thank you so much for joining us this evening. Kelly, do we have anything else that we can add, or are we pretty much there?
I think that's pretty much it. But let us know, like, if there's something you want us to talk about, um, give you the research, give you tips, make you feel like that you're not alone. We're here. We'd love to hear what you want us to talk about.
Definitely. And always check in with us because we always have a happy hour a week after we post this lovely little video. So if you have any questions for us, please join us for the happy hour and we will be posting that on social media. Follow us on Instagram at Tank Tops and Sweaters. And soon coming will be a website.
That's right. Mhm.
Very excited about
Hopefully very
this.
soon. Me too.
You have like a blog and some other really fun goodies for you to explore. So, friends, be kind to yourselves. Try not to get burnt out. Move those bodies, but bend with curiosity, be compassionate, and stay wild.
And we'll see
Have
you
a
next
good night.
time.
Bye.
Bye.